There are moments in every community bank's life cycle when the CEO has maximum control, maximum options, and maximum leverage. I call that the strategic window. Here's the problem. Most CEOs don't know where they are in that window. And if you don't know where you are, you can't use it. Today, I'm going to show you how to recognize your strategic window and why understanding its timing gives you options whether you ever use them or not. And before you jump to conclusions, this isn't about creating urgency to sell or rushing into a transaction. This is about knowing when your leverage is strongest so you can make better strategic decisions, whether you build independently for the next 20 years or simply want the confidence of having real options. I'm Knutson. I founded and led a community bank as CEO and chairman. I've navigated the strategic decisions you face every day: raising capital, building a strong shareholder base, developing talent, and growing a bank customers proudly called their bank. I've been in your seat through every phase of a bank's life cycle. That perspective is what you'll hear every episode. Here's what most CEOs don't understand about strategic positioning. Timing determines leverage. You can have the same bank, the same management team, the same financials, and be in completely different negotiating positions based purely on when strategic conversations happen. In episode 1, we talked about the 4 positions in the Community Bank Value Leverage Matrix. Strategic command, where you have control, options, and time. Readiness is relative, where you're positioned, but timing matters. On the clock, where someone else is setting the timeline. And no need for realization, where strategic options aren't relative. The strategic window is when you're in strategic command or approaching it. If you're focused on growth, understanding your strategic window tells you when your positioning is actually paying off. If you care about legacy, it tells you when you have the most control over outcomes. If you're data-driven, it gives you an objective framework for evaluating timing, not just instinct. And if you value independence, it shows you when you have the most power, whether you use it or not. The strategic window isn't about deciding to sell. It's about recognizing when you have maximum strategic optionality. And here's what's important. The window has width. It's not a single moment you can miss, but it does shift over time. The strategic window has 3 phases. Understanding which phase you're in changes everything. Let me walk you through them. Phase 1, approaching the window. You're building, your foundation and differentiators are strengthening, the things we talked about in episode 2. Your financial momentum is improving, core earnings are consistent, efficiency is trending the right way, your team is developing depth, you are less dependent on 1 or 2 people, systems are being documented, succession planning is progressing. Your market position is clearer, your niche is emerging, customer satisfaction is measurable, your reputation is solid. You're not done yet. Maybe technology upgrades are still underway. Maybe a strategic initiative needs to fully land. If you're approaching the window, your job isn't to rush. It's to finish the work that creates optionality. Approaching the window is about building. But what does it look like when everything aligns? Phase 2, in the window. This is peak positioning. Financials are strong and consistent. The team is deep and capable. Governance is solid. Market position is defensible. More importantly, you have time. You can handle an unexpected approach without scrambling. You know who to call. Your board knows how to respond. Your bank can function through the process. There's no succession crisis, no capital emergency, no regulatory pressure forcing your hand. You're not under the gun. This doesn't mean you should sell. It means you could explore options from strength if you chose to. And that optionality changes how you think about everything: capital allocation, talent investment, growth strategy, even personal energy. The window stays open as long as conditions remain favorable. Sometimes that's 2 or 3 years, sometimes longer. But windows don't stay open forever. Phase 3, past the window. Conditions have shifted. This isn't failure, it's reality. Leadership changes happen. Markets change. Regulatory pressure increases. Personal circumstances evolve. If you're past the window, you haven't missed your chance, but your leverage has shifted. You may still have good options, just fewer of them. Some CEOs choose to rebuild positioning. Others work with current reality and make the best decision available now. Neither is wrong. But not knowing where you are leads to false hope or unnecessary regret. So how do you know which phase you're in? Let me give you 4 practical tests. Test 1. If a strategic buyer approached you tomorrow, could you respond calmly and strategically? Not would you want to sell, but could you evaluate it without scrambling? If yes, you're likely in or near the window. If not, you're still building toward it. Test 2. Could your bank function without you for 12 to 24 months? Not perfectly, but effectively. Banks that don't depend entirely on one person have leverage. Banks that do, don't. Test 3. Are you making strategic decisions or reacting to circumstances? Every CEO reacts sometimes, but the ratio matters. If most major decisions are reactive, leverage is slipping. Test 4. Do you personally have the energy for another 5 to 7 year build? This isn't about age, it's about honesty. Your personal timeline is part of the strategic window. If you're approaching the window, stay focused on finishing the work. If you're in the window, recognize the optionality and use it wisely. If you're past the window, decide whether to rebuild or act with clarity. Timing awareness creates confidence. Confidence creates better decisions. When we started today, I promised to show you how to recognize your strategic window. What you got was clarity, the 3 phases, 4 practical tests, and the insight that timing awareness creates strategic optionality, whether you ever explore options or not. Now you can recognize your strategic window and lead from strength. Within the strategic window, there's an even more precise timing cycle. Get it right and you preserve shareholder value. Get it wrong and you can cost your shareholders more than $1 million without changing a single deal term. Next episode, the golden window, the 18-month cycle that creates or kills leverage. If you'd like a clearer sense of how positioned your bank is today, I've created the Community Bank Value Strategic Readiness Score. It's a brief, 8-question diagnostic, discreet, and obligation-free. You'll find it linked in the show notes. And remember, the best decisions come from knowing all your options.